welcome to the Wednesday preview, the first one of 2022 with my partner in crime, James here. How are you, James?
Fantastic, Leia. Good to be with you. Good to be back. Great time to be back as we've got the Group 2 Birthday Cup at Mandurah on Friday night. It's an absolutely cracking affair. Great way to start the year.
It is. After 7 very strong heats, we've come down to the final field this Friday. Let's take a look at this box draw. And we've got Bones McCoy drawn the cherry here. Steampunk Wolf, quickest qualifier, draws box 2. West Ombre out of box 3. Sarong, who's made it back now, comes out of box 4. The only runner-up to make the final. In box 5, we've got Archibald. In the 6, Destruction. Box 7, Sunset Piper, and the other Shinners trained Greyhound jumping out wide from box 8, Yerenup Flyer. But let's take a look at Bones McCoy here. Quickest qualifying time was in 22:45, but Bones clocked 22:46, so I definitely think it's worth the mention, especially because that heat performance was out of box 2, and he comes up with an inside draw again.
Oh, big chance, isn't he, from the pole here. We'll have a look at his heat run here, Leia, where he's wearing the black and white stripes, and Bones McCoy bursting out of the traps here. He sees off the challenge of West on True early stages here, goes on to win this one pretty comfortably by 3 lengths here. Is of course trained by Glenn Curry, who went away from training and is now back in the game, and he's got a good one here in Bones McCoy, this dog that's come over from New South Wales and looks really suited to short course racing. He's made a name for himself, can begin, and he's got a really good record from the red, so Bones McCoy right in this.
Definitely, and the Greyhound drawn beside him, quickest qualifier, Steampunk Wolf, looks to be a good chance from the inside, James, and we had a chat to Lewis Clare yesterday as well. Keep an eye on the socials for that, but also the handler, Katie, mentioned that they were actually hoping to get box 2, and that's what they've come up with, so that's absolutely ideal for Steampunk Wolf. And yes,
I was going to say the key to that dog, obviously, if he can begin like he did last week, he'll be right in it. He will have some serious heat on him out in front if he's able to do that. If he doesn't begin, may not be in this one.
It is imperative, especially, James, because there's so much speed on the inside of this race. There's from the boxes drawn 1 through to 3. Out wide, though, Destruction has drawn box 6, and he could be lucky here with this draw, James, possibly staying out of any issues on the inside.
Oh, potentially. Destruction, one of the big guns in this race for sure. Look, started his heat last week as a very warm favourite from box 1. Did it tough in the end, gets tangled up in the early stages here, has to fight and find his way through. He was able to do that and scored a gutsy win in his heat. Obviously better known for his 500 metre racing is Destruction, but he's undefeated in 3 attempts over the 4:05. He's also gunning for a bit of history. Destruction here could become the first greyhound since Icy Monaro in 1982, 40 years ago, to do the Mandurah Cup Birthday Cup double, so that would be quite a feat.
It would be. Now, the other Crystal Shinners trained Greyhound jumps out of box 8, Yerenup Flyer. Not one to disregard, James. At his best, can clock 22:30 times, so one to keep an eye out for out wide. Sarong, as we mentioned, the only Greyhound, well, the only runner-up to qualify for the final. What are your thoughts on Sarong?
Yeah, well, look, a decent run, wasn't it, first up from a spell. Once again, another question mark on this dog. Can he break his finals hoodoo? Makes a lot of finals, hasn't won a lot of them. He won't be leading, we know that for sure. It's going to be hard for him in that case to come from behind, but certainly good enough, and he showed last week that he is able to run dogs down, or he's got that late race strength, able to run dogs down, but it will be hard from him coming from behind the field.
Well, as you said, he will not be leading, but he's not a greyhound that needs to lead to win, so we'll keep an eye on Sarong as well in the tail end of the race. West on Bray draws box 3 here. As you mentioned, Destruction, undefeated 3 from 3. Same with West on Bray, 3 starts, 3 wins, and what a performance that was in his heat run.
Yeah, really good, wasn't it? This is him from box 2, jumping okay. Does take a few strides to get into gear here, but once he's does that, he's able to push through to the lead, and from that point on, there's no doubt about the result. Has been a talented chaser from the get-go, this dog. Of course, remember, he won the chase at this track and distance in November in 22:39. He's got some wheels, West Ombre.
Absolutely on fire, West Ombre. And we had Chris House mention on the show last week, James, that he was coming up in a hard heat. He'd have to be at his best at box rise to be able to find the lead here, and he did not disappoint. We caught up with Luke Townsend, who spoke on behalf of Chris House, and this is what he had to say.
No, he didn't disappoint in the heat last week. He's a really good run, and he got a bit hampered early by the two dog and really pushed through hard along the fence and had to do it a bit tough, and got the job done. I think from box 3, he should get a clear run early. It all depends if he can cross the 1 and the 2, of course, but I think he's got his chance to get a clear run into the corner, and if he can cross the 1 and 2, he'd definitely be the dog to beat.
Well, that's the Birthday Cup at Mandurah on Friday night. It's a cracking race, could make a case for any of the runners in it.
You can indeed. Now let's swing our attention to racing on Saturday here at Cannington, James, and what have we got in store?
Well, I thought the highlight for this one, Leigh, was the rematch between All Zipped Up and Mambo Manelli. These two dogs head-to-head in the summer chase, and what a fantastic duel that was between those two dogs.
It was, and you can see in the replay that All Zipped Up pinged at the start to find the rail and managed to lead throughout, even with Mambo Manelli on his tail. So I think will be a really interesting rematch, James. But on Saturday, they've swapped boxes, so Mambo Manelli now jumps out of box 2 and All Zipped Up has drawn the lemon.
Yeah, going to be a good one, this was, isn't it? It's over the same distance, over the 600, grade 4-5. That's race 5 at Cannington on Saturday night. I reckon that one is the race to look out for.
Now, big news coming in last week, James. The track stars have been announced.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got our leading trainers and leading dogs from both the Mandurah and Cannington tracks. Who have we got? Let's kick off with Mandurah, shall we, Leigh?
James, our leading trainer down there was David Hobby with 189 wins. Any surprises there?
No, not really, Leigh. We know how dominant David Hobby has been over the past few years. He's got a great breeding program, very good trainer. Didn't really have a standout dog down there at Mandurah in 2021. Gangnam Manelli did pick up 10 wins, but he had a lot of wins from a lot of different dogs over the course of the year.
All right, now the moment we've been waiting for, the track star greyhound at Mandurah was Quarteraro, the king of the 490 with 15 wins, James.
Yeah, and imagine how many more he would have picked up if you'd been able to race over the 490 consistently. A lot of times he was going back to the 405 because he couldn't get a race in the 490. Still a fantastic effort from Quarteraro.
Yes, and congratulations to David Hobby and Paul Stewart there taking out those awards at Mandurah. Now at Cannington, leading trainer David Hobby with 155 wins.
Well, yeah, once again, David Hobby just dominating everyone. Stout Manelli picked up a lot of wins for him. Mambo Manelli, he had Zach Manelli winning a lot of races as well, including, of course, the Group 1 Galaxy and plenty more. When you've got the David Hobby stamp on your greyhound, it's a stamp of quality, isn't it?
It is. And the last but not least, James, the track star at Cannington was We the People, 14 wins, so not far behind Quarteraro.
Yeah, look, here's a dog that basically claimed that title in the last week when she won the Christmas gift late last year. Wonderful result. It has been a really consistent stayer over a long period of time now, and just a really good result also for trainer Sean Kavanagh, proving in greyhound racing that nice guys don't have to finish last, because he is one of the best in the business.
And also smaller kennels don't have to finish last.
Absolutely. He's having a really good run at the moment. Well done also to Peter Cameron, Ryan Levitsky, the ownership group there.
Wonderful. So James, we are racing tonight here at Cannington, and we've got some bets to wrap up the show.
We certainly do. Look, I'm heading towards a race 5, number 6, Declan Manelli. So this dog is the only dog in the field to have clocked a sub 30-second time. Both his wins have also come from wide draws. He does come up against a group of handy chasers, but I think he'll have the advantage here. Certainly with the dog on his inside, out of box 5, Flamenco Manelli does have a tendency to drift a little left out of the draw there, so I think Declan Manelli will get a good look at this one.
I do like the look of Declan, James, but my best bet has gone into race 6, number 6, Soul's Glory. Stepping down in grade, stepping down in distance. Box 6 also not a bother for him, so plenty of reasons to go with Soul's Glory, and can also clock sub 22 seconds over the 380, unlike the rest of the field who has yet to do so. So I'm sticking with race 6, number 6, Soul's Glory as my best bet.
All right, good stuff. Leah, is that it for the show?
It is. Lots happening, of course,
It
highlighted
is.
by the Group 2 Birthday Cup. If we don't see you on track, we hope to catch you on the show next week.